she also handed over her right to any physical affection, ever again. In theory, she became a bride of Christ. In practice, the marriage was often open to interpretation. The vow of chastity was serious business. No touching, no flirting. Definitely no midnight rendezvous in the cloister garden with Brother Thomas from down the hill. But as any good historian, or bishop with a headache, will tell you, vows are only as binding as the will to follow them, and in many convents, the will was flexible. For some nuns, the vow of chastity was treated more like a suggestion. After all, if you're locked behind stone walls for decades, surrounded only by other women and the occasional suspiciously handsome confessor, things can get blurry, very blurry. Some got creative. There were whispered arguments that affection didn't count if it wasn't intentional. Others leaned into spiritual loopholes. If Christ was your heavenly husband, then who could object to a little passion, mystical or otherwise? Especially if you wrote it down in Latin. Reports from church officials, sent to check that everything was pure and pious, often contained delicately phrased complaints like excessive familiarity between sisters, or unescorted male visitors to the orchard. Translated, someone was misbehaving, and it was probably happening near the apples. Then there were the convents that ran more like noble dormitories. Wealthy families would send off their troublesome daughters with the clear expectation that someone else would deal with their enthusiasm. Some convents tried. Others shrugged and hoped the bishop didn't visit too often. Of course, not every nun strayed. Many lived genuinely devout lives, praying, studying, and baking bread that could dent a helmet. But others? Let's just say they interpreted the rule of chastity the way people today interpret unlimited breadsticks. So yes, chastity was written in ink, sworn before God, and embroidered into the rule books. But behind those quiet walls, things were occasionally rewritten. Pregnancy, as a general rule, is difficult to explain away, even more so when you're a nun. While you could conceal a secret lover or smuggle in a wheel of contraband cheese, a growing belly was significantly harder to tuck under a habit, and even harder to explain without implicating at least one person, several sins, and occasionally a confused donkey. Medieval convents were supposed to be sanctuaries of chastity, but reality had other ideas. Church records, bishopric complaints, and truly scandalized abbesses all suggest one consistent truth. Nuns were getting pregnant. Not hypothetically, not symbolically, physically, undeniably, and inconveniently pregnant. The excuses were often creative. Some claimed demonic possession. Others cited miraculous conception,